So here I'm going to be explaining CFSS mode 1 as in VIP or hospital up call. So for a hospital call, this is what you guys will be having this board behind the up and down push buttons. But if you also have a key switch there as well, so you have another board just like this one, but that key switch will be for the hospital or VIP will be going to the another HCNT board, hall call node board, but with different jumpers. So as you notice here, this is just a front main up and down. Right here you have the down and the up, and we have jumpers for 4 down, and then up we have a jumper 6 for floor address floor 1. So you have the 0 for X10, and then you have a 1 for X1. What we're going to do is we're going to do an input inventory. So we're going to connect iView to iCue. You notice we have iCue here. Going to maximize this. So here we're going to do input inventory, basically scanning all of these node boards and their jumper settings. As you can tell, we have 016 is for floor 1, and then up we have the 6. So 016 for hall call up main front. So we're gonna press that button for the up hall call. So you can tell the input light went on and the output staying latched till the car gets to the first floor. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna change this board to a CFSS mode 1 for a hospital call, for to show you guys an example. So I'm gonna power down the hall call driver, and then I'm gonna switch the jumpers. So I'm gonna take 4 off, and I'm gonna put the 6 on 8 for up, and then I'll show you the parameters that you'll need to change on the iCue. So we power back up. Now we know that we have the up, and then we have the 8, the jumper for 8. And then for floor address 01 for floor 1. So things to check on the iCue is you need to go to system configuration, click on CFSS, and then we want to see what the priority cars are. So if you have a group of elevators with 6 elevators in it, you might have more priority cars, but you always want to select the priority cars and move on over to the priority. So if you make a CFSS call, do you want car 1 to go there first, or car 3, or so on? Non-priority cars are on the left side. So right here we want to select a car to configure. So we want it to configure to let's just say the first floor. That's what we have programmed for the HCNT board jumpers. So right here, select a CFSS hall call configuration. That's set to 1, mode 1. We're gonna send it. I'm gonna click on configurations. Make sure that CFSS eligibility is set to 1, and you don't have another switching it to another eligibility. You can program that in later. So you go to back to system IO. You're gonna go back to bus, and then but you're gonna click on system this time. So if you notice, we don't have any CFSS here. So when you click default calls, it's gonna go off what you have programmed in the configurations tab. So we have building, hall call eligibility bank A. Right now we still have programmed front main up So we have a check mark, so it's still going to program that in when we default calls. But remember, we put a check mark for that front up. So I'm going to go to System IO. I'm going to click on default calls. So this operation will program inputs and output based on number of floors, hall call eligibility, and CFSS 1 call eligibility configuration. So as you notice, the order type, so you're going to have an 8 at the end for CFSS call mode 1. So you're going to click OK. And as you can tell, it popped up. So remember, the 0 is for X10. The 1 is for X1. And then the 8, the jumper, is on up for CFSS call mode 1 front for floor 1. So after that default, you're going to send it. We're going to go back to bus and we're going to click input inventory, and what we're going to want to see is it pop up for 018. So it's going to input inventory, is going to recognize all the boards and going to see what jumpers they have set. And click input inventory. You can tell now we have a check mark for CFSS call mode 1 front floor 1. So what we're gonna do, we're going to send this car away. So we're gonna give it like another hall call somewhere else to a main, another main floor, front main. So that's what it looks like. Got the up arrow, solid. Now we're gonna press the button for CFSS mode 1. So I'm gonna press it right now, the up. So I got the CFSS, and you should have a star for CFSS mode. And now you have CFSS 1 recall. So that's phase 1. So once the car goes there, yeah, the doors are open. So that's gonna depend on how you want the doors to act. In order to do that, you actually have to connect iView to the car this time. So we're gonna minimize this screen. We're gonna open up another iView window. Connect, we're gonna connect to that AC controller. Open it. So for in-car CFSS, you'll need to go to View, Configuration, Car Operation. You have the CFSS right here. You can hit the plus on it, or mode 1. So you get general, medical, emergency. You can choose to bypass CFSS recall if fire detectors are activated. But here's more parameters for in-car. So disposition of existing calls all cancel immediately, or you can change it to service existing car calls, service all existing, or cancel calls at next stop. Depends on how you guys want to do it. Stop at next floor and cycles doors. So how do you want the in-car visual indicator behavior as well inside the car? Do you want it to flash, solid, or do you even want one? You have more options here for cars on independent service are eligible for CFSS. Your CFSS recall timeouts, the transition timer, as well too. So once you're in the car, you should have another switch in there that goes to a COP board to take over the car, kind of like you're on phase 2 of fire operation. So you want a constant pressure, momentary pressure, so on. There's this parameter here that says permit in-car activation without recall first. So if you want to go in the car when it's on normal operation and put it on CFSS hospital mode without it recalling first out in the hall, just put a check mark here and then send it. So that's how you would program your CFSS and in the iCue, the node boards, and in the car.